I'm Kate Campanale. I am a state representative here in Massachusetts, and I represent the 17th Worcester district. Now, this district makes up the entire town of Leicester and then the southwest portion of Worcester. So Webster Square area up by the airport, just outside of Worcester State's just outside of my border. Each representative has about 40,000 constituents that they represent. It's divided by population. Our duties include constituent services, helping people get through the red tape of government, whether they're calling about unemployment, health insurance, issues with the medical examiner to child custody cases. You're introducing laws, you're reading bills, you're voting on laws that affect everyone in the Commonwealth, making sure budgetary items are covered too, raising taxes, making sure programs have the money they need to continue and thrive. You have your committee work as well. I'm specifically assigned to Ways and Means, which deals with the budget, also a ranking member of Elder Affairs. So you find that each representative has their own niche, I'd say, that they specialize in. And you have so many people from different backgrounds that make up the legislature, whether they be from business or lawyers, consulting, insurance. And I think that's what makes the body, the legislative body, work so well. I was born and raised here. I was born in Worcester at Memorial Hospital and raised in Leicester and grew up in Leicester, went to Leicester schools. 31 years old, and in my second term as a state representative, I never saw this as my career path. I originally wanted to go to school for architecture, and I remember choosing between Syracuse and Sweetbriar, were the two colleges that I was trying to choose, and I ended up falling in love with Sweetbriar College, which is an all-women's school in Southern Virginia. And I remember, going through classes, and I think like many students, I took an economics course and realized, this makes sense. It just clicks. It was common sense to me, and I really enjoyed it. So from that point, I actually switched to an economics major. And right out of school, one of the first jobs I was offered was in a legislative office in DC. And that's where I got my first taste of politics. My job, I was an executive assistant to the legislative director for the agency I worked for. So I would, be involved in some closed-door meetings, congressional hearings, and working with different congressional offices. I moved back home and started getting involved in politics locally, and one thing led to another, and I decided to run for office myself. When I was in high school, that was just the start of the Iraq War, and just at the time when you're at the age where you're starting to understand politics and local news. And I would say my dad was probably most influential because he made sure I watched the news every day. He made sure that I was reading the paper, and I remember getting Time magazine, and that's what we would talk about at the dinner table. My dad wasn't politically involved at all, but he just wanted to make sure I knew current events. It's my dad that's always been my #1 supporter and pushed me to take on challenges. I was elected in part because I grew up here. My neighbors knew me. They knew my family from growing up here. They may have known my sister. I played Little League with their kids. They had my mom in middle school. They knew my dad had a small business. That's how they know me. But as soon as you're elected, you're put on a different level. I'm no longer just Kate. I'm Kate, the state representative, and you can't go to the supermarket without somebody recognizing you. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's you just want to get your grocery shopping done. But that part of the lifestyle has been a challenge to adjust to. As far as legislatively, my student loan bill has been very rewarding to work on. This is a bill that will actually incentivize employers and employees to pay their student loans. I see the effects that student loans have on members of our Commonwealth and throughout the nation. It's delaying people from starting a family, from buying a house, from even staying within the state. You see a lot of young professionals who are leaving the state, mostly I would say for the Carolinas, down south where the cost of living is cheaper. This bill gives the incentive like a 401k program where an employer offers to match a certain amount that the employee is paying into a 401k plan. This would act the same to their student loans. What this bill does fix, that I'm learning more about as you talk to more people, is this is considered income to the employee. So now their income bracket goes up, meaning their student loan payments go up, where it's seen as income. So this bill fixes that, makes it tax exempt for the employee and the employer. I love going into the schools. I love talking to young kids, from elementary age to high school age. I am always emailing the principals, hey, what's going on? Let me know. I'd love to come in and speak to your classes. It's bringing kids to the State House. Again, it's trying to get them to understand what you do at the local level. It's okay, well, I make sure you get the money for your textbooks that you have here, and to pay your teachers, and to fix that pothole that's in the road outside. That construction going on there, that's what I'm helping with. And it seems, if you can point to different local examples, I think that's very impactful. Well, if you would like to get in touch with me, I would love to hear from you. You can contact my office at 617-722-2488, always by email at kate.campanale@mahouse.gov, or like me on Facebook. It is a great way to stay in touch and keep up with what's going on in the community as well.